This may be the last evening we gather as a team. Come on, Reaver, don't say stuff like that. It won't do us any good. I did say. First person who breaks the silence, man. But it is the truth. Mac, please win tomorrow. I do not want to stop spending time with all of you. I have been a happier person since I joined this team. I would strongly prefer to stay that way. I am Robot. I have emotions. Guarded as she is, Reaver intones a sadness that the rest of us are trying to deny. Even Jet ceases her march to observe the exchange. I feel the same way, Reaver. I'll win tomorrow, I promise. The penalty for lying is death. That seems out of place with some of the stuff you've been saying. Reaver breathes out a sigh and collects herself. I believe that you will. Me too. Mac probably plays an important part of my story to become the greatest player of all time. The first chapter can't end with a loss, it just wouldn't make sense. It can. I mean, this has nothing to do with that, whatever. I won't deny him his little fantasy. An arm slings itself around my shoulder. With a glance, I find that it belongs to Excel. Feeling alright? Not as bad as before, but the pressure is still there. As your coach, I am obligated to encourage you to win. But what's most important is what you want. For what it's worth, I'm with Reaver. I'd be sad to see you leave Korea. I've got more than enough motivation for tomorrow's. Is that what we're here for? It isn't just for you. For the first time since she barged into my room, Jet addresses me directly. Her expression is devoid of the intensity that I've come to know her for. I wasn't lying when I said that you had the potential to be great. True as that is, it doesn't make you special. Everyone has the capability to be a champion. It isn't genetic or unique. I'm not denying the existence of talent, but it's not nearly as essential as people make it out to be. StarCraft and everything else is about way more than that. Most people are either unwilling or unable to work hard. Simply being able to overcome that barrier makes it possible to do things that other people sit around and daydream about. If you've ever done that, you can't lose without regrets, have you? Yeah, I have. Good. Then all that's left is us to trust it'll earn us the win. Silence follows the Jet's finals remarks, leaving us with an air of gravitas. It's only a quip from Stunt that saves the rest of us from our glum-faced stare down. Deep. Deep, right. That's all he's saying. Don't be a prick, Stunt. Yeah, that's right. You just swat him back down. Alright, let's go over the game plan for tomorrow. How you play is up to you, but it's probably smart to stick to what you've been practicing. Yeah, I know better than to invent a build on the fly. How about you open us up, Jet? Still against the build Reaver prepared for game 1? I understand the idea, but I don't think it's a sure win. Bolt will probably assume that Mac is looking to steal a win, so he'll be on the lookout for something non-standard. It was devised with that in mind. If executed as planned, it should secure a lead, if not a victory. Don't give Bolt any respect that he hasn't earned. If you let him set the pace for the series, it'll be an uphill battle. Don't give him any respect we haven't earned. He beat us quite convincingly. I agree with that, actually. Alright, fine, it's just not my style of play. Moving on, how about mid-game? I was planning on playing my usual style, drop ships to establish map control and slow down his third base. If I scout that he's being too greedy, I go for the kill. That's solid, I wouldn't change anything there. I was going to say, that sounds like my sort of passive-aggressive sort of style. Seconded, it's annoying playing against those kind of Terrans if I can't kill them early. Reaver fidgets with her glasses, evidently disagreeing. Do not write off the possibility of mech. He's barely practiced mech, why would you even suggest that? It is an ideal unit composition when we played it at its apex. Only if he can get there safely, which he'll be practically impossible against a Protoss as lethal as Bolt. What? What? What did that say? Only if he can get there safely, which will be impossible against the Protoss as... That's supposed to say she, isn't it? That's supposed to say she. God damn it. Last thing, late game. If Bolt manages to get on 3 bases, don't try and end the game in a direct fight unless you have tons of defenses prepared to slow down his march. The fully powered Protoss army is stronger than a maxed out Terran, so you have to look somewhere else to find an edge. The opposite is true in Brood War, so he's used to being the aggressor. If you see Bolt eager to engage with you, don't automatically assume it's because he'll roll you. That reminds me, are there any other kinds of mistakes that Brood War players make when they first switch to StarCraft 2? You and Excel should know that better than anyone. It's the little things, honestly, knowledge that you take for granted that Bolt has to work for. You can look at 5 Marauders and know they'll crush 7 Stalkers without actively thinking about it, for example. He probably can't yet. That and his strategies, Bolt hasn't been playing Star 2 for as long as you. So he's probably only up to date on standard builds from the current meta. So what you're saying is we should do something really old. That's perfect. We'll crush him with Colossus because no one's built a counter to that. No, that's a terrible idea. You should never do that. In Wings of Liberty, that was the shit, but it's just awful. He'll be relying on game sense and mechanics to carry him through that shortcoming. If you can get a read on him, he won't be able to fall back on an older style. And as strong as Brood War player as he is, Bolt isn't immune to slip-ups, especially in a new game. If he expands too fast or spreads his army too thin, crush him. Yeah, got it. That's right. We're the superior player. If I keep telling myself that, it'll eventually be true. Then I guess we've done everything we can. Nothing to do but play. You'll want to run through some warm-ups and get a glimpse of the crowd early to keep your nerves down, so don't be late. When I answer with a nod, Excel smiles. A final glimpse at the 4 faces of my teammates underscores the need to win tomorrow. Nothing else needs to be said. Everyone has placed not only their trust, but also their futures in me. Failure is not an option. Amen. Let's go fucking crush him! Let's crush him! Let's punch him, and let's elbow him in the... Oh no, it's StarCraft, isn't it? Alright, let's kill everything he has. I won't be in this apartment for much longer, but I'm going to leave it on my own terms. Damn straight, not 'cause you're forced. How are you feeling, Mac? Eh? I blink my eyes and rub them awake. An hour of warm-up at the studio has left me with only 15 minutes before the match is set to begin. The foundation on my face isn't a kind I've used before and feels a bit weird. Standard procedure for all broadcasted matches, or so the makeup artist said as she applied it. Good. I was going to say, hang on, we don't seem like the kind of person who'd put foundation on and then they were like, oh, hang on a second. It's not. It's makeup for the studio so we can look pretty for the cameras. Behind Mr. Kim, a small crowd filters into the stage area. The semi-finals for the VSL, that's what it is, begins right after the show match, so it's unlikely that everyone is here just to watch me and Bolt play. But judging by the number of people sporting the black and white colours of Shock T1, there are at least a few. No one come here to defend me? Hopefully I'll have a few fans. Also, we've taken a little while to respond to what he was saying. Oh, Mr. Kim, sorry, I'm well. Good. Best of luck in your match. Let's hope that this is the beginning of a long and fruitful partnership. Why are you saying that whilst adjusting your thingy, cufflinks? You don't seem too confident. I lower my head in a curt bow. I appreciate it. Mr. Kim matches my bow with a nod. Bow? No, God no. A bow with a nod, and then slips around the corner into the studio. I'm only allowed a minute of time to myself before the businessman's present is replaced by Excel's. Ready? Yeah, I'm ready. And I am. I stretch out my wrist and crack my knuckles to emphasize it. Good, let's go. Don't crack your knuckles again, though. That's bad for you. Jesus. But before we get into that, we have a special match before VSTL begins, don't we? That's right. Most of you have likely heard the news that Excel and Jet have left their teams to begin their own. Regardless of how the fans feel, one must admit that it was quite an ambitious decision. Certainly, but today we have a match to decide whether those two will have their risk pay off. A generous prize from Enoch Group has allowed us to host a show match between two wildly different players. A new sponsor, how exciting. On top of that, it's refreshing to see the KPGA has finally begun to embrace StarCraft 2. How much do we know about the Protoss Bolt? Well, he's a very strong player from Shock T1, and this is his first appearance in a StarCraft 2 match, isn't that right? We'll have to see how his Brood War skills translate. What about his opponent, Mac? Do we know much about her? There was very little information available from her. Online! You couldn't just ask Jet. Really? That's how people in Korea get all their information. Well, I'll tell you what we know about her, Bob. We went to Wikipedia. No. Yeah, so we must assume that she is an amateur. All the same, she must be quite skilled for Jet and Excel to call her their teammate. It dawns on me that this match is probably being broadcast online. Should I have told my parents or friends to tune in and watch? No, enough. I'm tired of obsessing over acceptance from everyone back home. This has nothing to do with them. Now, let's get the comments from our players. Please welcome Bolton Mac. A production assistant gestures me forward and I step out onto the stage. Bolt approaches me from the other side, standing just a few feet away from me when we come to a stop. He gives a wave and a few dozen people erupt into cheers. Among them, there are screams of at least 10 fangirls. A whole 10! Whoa. With a microphone in hand, he addresses the crowd with a charming disposition completely opposite from every interaction I've shared with him. First, I would like to thank my fans for coming today. I've worked hard to prove the KPGA players will first place in StarCraft 2 championships in the near future. That's not true, but whatever. He even looks evil as he's trying to be nice. Bastard. We'll fuck him up. I've always performed well under pressure throughout my pro gaming career, but today I don't think I have much to worry about. Laughs. We will kill you, it's fine. The comment draws a few laughs from the audience, KPGA fans and not. He continues. I am confident that I'll only drop only one map today. My opponent's year of StarCraft 2 must have earned him at least one win against my single week. That's just an outright lie. By judging by the crowd's reaction, they're buying it completely. Foreigners could never compete in Brood War. I am here to prove the same is true in StarCraft 2. I promise you to show you all good games. Please cheer for me. He lifts another fist to another uproar of applause. What a fake piece of shit. But before I can spend any more time lingering on how much I dislike Bolt, the VSL hostess takes the mic from him and offers it to me. Say a few words to your fan. I was told that you can speak Korean, correct? Before I know it, the microphone is in my hand. I try my best not to look bewildered and turn my attention to the audience. Hello, I'm Mac. I just want to thank my team for helping me to prepare for today's match and the Enoch Group for sponsoring this show match. I will do my best to win. Thank you. My earnest approach earns me a polite response from the crowd, though not one that comes close to matching Bolt's. Yeah, I was going to say, they were cheering, going wild. We just got claps. Claps! Ah, no, not a fan of that. Please shake hands and go to your booths. Fuck me, that was a fancy CG. What was that? Bolt is first to turn. His smile, no doubt designed and manufactured in an underground KPGA laboratory, belies the edge I see in his eyes. He offers his hand and I reach forward to take it for a single shake. I hope you practice hard. I'm going to destroy you. I did, don't worry. Not likely. I really, really want to see you lose. That's good. It would be a shame to disappoint your fans with an uneven series. It doesn't matter what you want. You're trash, and after this, you'll never forget it. Agreed. Let's make sure to show some exciting games. Easy to say. Let's see if you can actually do it. We separate without incident, and I turn to take my place in the booth. Hey, at least he's not the equivalent of Idra, just fucking walking off. He just once asked, hey, shake hands if you would, gentlemen, and he just fucked off to his booth. I turn to take my place in the booth. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Come on, let's fucking murder him. Jet stands outside the door with my keyboard, mouse, and mousepad in hand. What the hell is this? She drops a key cap into my hand. I think that's my Windows key? It doesn't belong on a pro gamer's keyboard. Fat fingering that during a battle will tab you out and lose you the game. She huffs and breaks eye contact. It's obvious that she's at least as stressed as I am. Jet, I've got this. Christ, there's sweating or a tear there. It's probably sweat. I know. Do your best, Mac. Fighting. With a nod, she pushes open the booth door. Once inside, the ambient sound of the stage lights, cameras, and screens die down. All that I can hear is a subtle hum of the crowd and my own pulse. It would be peaceful if not for the adrenaline burning through my veins. This is my first time inside a booth. My heart is racing, and nothing I try to tell myself as I plug in my peripherals and configure my settings helps to calm that. Playing in front of a crowd in the VSL has been a goal of mine for more than a year. Even with how hard I've been working, it feels like there should have been more build-up to this moment. Yet here I am. I reach out to touch the soundproofing material, if only to allow another of my senses to confirm that the moment is real. Even as I try to keep my focus away from the crowd and onto the game, I keep glancing past the computer monitor and towards my teammates seated in the front row. They wave and cheer at me as the studio lights dim. I force myself to look back at the PC and focus entirely on the match at hand. Everything I've done over the past week, no, the months I've been in Korea, and even the time before that, it's all led up to this moment. Well-rounded, favours aggression, professional Brood War player, but not a professional StarCraft 2 player. Favours aggression. We might just want to scout, might want to look out for that. The second the loading screen ends, I put the plan into action. I rush one of my starting SCVs across the map. But I'm not sending it to his base. It comes to a stop on the outskirts of his 4th base location. It's only barely closer to his base than mine, honestly, but it's close enough to buy me precious seconds. Reaver called this build Proxy Everything. Depot, gas, racks, reactor, fax, support. Support? No, Christ, no, starport. I've drilled it to perfection and hit every timing within the second. Bolt didn't even scout, he'll pay for that mistake. My dropship rushes into his base at timing that normally wouldn't even be possible. Every single one of those extra seconds is precious. Perfect, I unload my Hellions straight into his mineral line. He was completely unprepared, so we're destroying his economy. Brilliant. He tries to escape with his workers, but I'm too quick in giving chase. I'm not letting you get away, Bolt. My Hellions weave past his slow-moving army and deal another blow to his economy. That one must have crippled him. He remains in the game only as an act of defiance. With my victory assured, I march into his base with an overwhelming force and take a fight on his turf. He scrapes together a final defense and actually manages to dent my army, though it's not enough to swing the game back. Not bad, but game 1 is mine. Hooray! Hands up for the hype! We won the first game. It is a best of 5, so we do have to win another 2. And he's probably not falling for that one again, so here's hoping. A gentle knock at the door behind me catches my attention while the studio prepares for the next game. A moment later, the door slides open. Just as planned, well executed, Mac. Seriously, where did all of you people come up with a build like that? Just because I loathe cheese does not mean I will not admit that it is occasionally useful and appropriate. I guess we'll be seeing it on the ladder for the next month. With luck, they'll call it the Mac build. They won't. They definitely won't. Maintain your momentum. Fighting. She hurries out of the booth and back to her seat in the crowd when I nod. Just as before, the studio lights dim and the second match gets underway. All you gotta do... See, that game, we were talking about what we were doing. We weren't thinking about feelings or breathing or adrenaline, nothing like that. Talked about the game, thought about the game, killed the opponent. That's what we need to do. Phew. Okay, keep it cool. The momentum is in my favour. I should make use of this breathing room. I need to find out how Bolt's going to be playing for the rest of the set. Wow, that is loud disco music. He went for a standard expansion last game, but I wasn't able to see his army as intended. This map is good for 2-base play. I should definitely go for drops, but I still need to decide on an opening. Lean on... What? Well, wait a second. Bolt is proxy gating me. Could we have chosen one of those? Oh, well, we can't, can we? God damn it, I didn't even consider the possibility. I veer my gameplay into the defensive direction, but Bolt's attack is already overwhelming my mineral line. Even with all the practice I had against stunts rushes, there's nothing I can do when caught so off guard. For every step forward I take with my SCV and Marine Micro, Bolt seizes 5 with damage to my economy. I can't stay in the game any longer and tap out with a GG. Just like that, he even upped the series. Fuck. I barely have time to take my headphones off before I feel a pair of hands clamp down on my shoulders. Keep it up! Stay in the zone! You got this! Ow, ow, okay, enough! Stop it! Down, boy! He got really lucky, scouted your base first, and you only barely missed the probe as it came over to your ramp. Great. Come on, you've been practicing with the future Protoss Bongerer and his macro battery. The next game is yours for the taking. Yeah, there's no way I'm letting another proxy get by me. It probably won't be a proxy. That's what I'm talking about. Fighting! For those asking, I don't know what fighting is. I don't know why they keep saying it. Alright, keep it together. There's no way I'll let another proxy get by me. My scout reveals little information, save that he's going for a 1-base tech build. There are several things I need to be prepared for, so I should make sure the front of my base is reinforced. Mechs, remember, he might do mechs. Reaver warned us about that. As long as I keep my units on the ramp, I should be able to respond to any flying units, and with each second that techs by, I pull more and more away with the game. Just as long as I don't tech too aggressively and focus on maintaining a sizable army, I should be fine. Huh? Did he transition into something more standard? He takes some damage on a scouting stalker before hastily pulling away. Was that it? I should probably double check whether or not he's got an expansion going down. It might be a good call to throw down a missile turret in my main as well, just as a precaution. Blink stalkers! Shit, he had vision on my high ground? Must have been an observer. Oh, why didn't I see it? He's able to pick off several units just as they finish building my barracks. The number advantage is heavily on my side. I empty the bunkers and rush them up my ramp, but he turns my own choke point against me and handily defeats my entire army with some ridiculously precise micro. I have nothing left to do but GG and accept the fact that I'm now down again. Knock knock. Yo, how are you feeling? Do you want the polite answer or the honest answer? You're playing well, but Bolt's been able to sniff out where you're weakest. You need to confront him head on. A macro game with a KPGA Pro, is that smart? Hey, no one ever said that StarCraft was an easy game. We practiced long hours for moments like this. Show the crowd how hard you've been working. Alright, I won't go down without a fight. Good, fighting. Come on, let's fucking own him. There's no way I'm giving up now. I've already proven myself that I can beat this guy. Forget the score, focus on the game. This map is huge, but I opt for a conservative timing on my expansion. Bolt's shown a seriously proclivity towards aggressive play. My scout reveals that we're on equal footing. Alright, time to drop the hammer. My first drop manages to catch him with his army out of position. Perfect. He has to be rushing back to defend against this drop. With that knowledge, I rush his second, smaller force into his third base. He held firm. The second prong of my attack slams straight into an overwhelming force. It's too late for me to pull away. That wasn't his entire army. The damage I managed to inflict wasn't nearly worth the cost of those two forces. I'm fine. I still have a decent army. I just need to contest the center of the map. I can't let him take another base. But he's already beat me to the punch. We clashed briefly before I order a retreat, frantically reinforcing my wounded army. I can't fall behind. Take more bases, keep my production going. Come on, I've got to deal some damage. If I just sit here and let him power up, he's going to roll me. Boom, Stalkers. This kind of pickoff is just what I needed. Shit, he's preparing an attack. He's preparing an assault on my main. Pull back, I can defend this. Just before his forces arrive, I get into position at the top of my ramp. It's looking even for a while until... Boom! Ha! This is the type of error a Brood War player makes. The burden to attack was mine, not his. This game's tempo is back in my favour, even if I'm still at an economic disadvantage. I need to hit while he's still rebuilding. Gotcha! The mineral line I failed to take down with my previous drop now lies in tatters. And this time, my two-pronged attack catches a weak flank defending his third base. I'm pulling him apart! I'm inflicting crushing economic damage. All I need to do is win one more fight. I'm spending my minerals and gas the second I mine it. My production has been going on point all game long. There's absolutely no way this would be possible without drilling for so many hours. One more fight, just one more fight. I march across the map and then charge up the ramp at his natural expansion. I maneuver out of the way of his Psy Storms and pound the powerful, expensive units at the back of his army. With them all out of the way, I'm able to power through the rest of his force. Yes, he types out a GG when I punch my way out of his main base. This series is even. My hands shake, the veins in my neck throb, my palms are covered in sweat. My throat is dry and my eyes hurt, and I can't stop bouncing my leg. Will you calm down? Shish! I don't think that's going to be possible. Typical amateur jitters. Don't try to ignore the adrenaline you're feeling. Use it to your advantage. Just don't shake. Okay, so this is a best of 7. Then I assume. I thought it was best of 5. It's a best of 7. So I need to win 2 more games and not lose 2. What else do you want me to say? You already know what to do. Honestly, I didn't give it any thought as to how I'd feel if I made it this far. I kind of feel like throwing up, actually. In that case, just imagine how sick you'll be when you win this thing. In more ways than one. Alright, enough chit-chat. Get serious, Mac. Fighting. Come on. Stay calm, just one more. One more? Holy shit, this is a best of 5. Cross off that checklist. Deports, racks, expand. A stalker denies my scout at the front of his natural expansion. That's frustrating. Without knowing the timing on his second base, it's unsure of how much damage I need to do. When my dropships come out, I need to find a good angle to attack him from. Let's see. Whoa, what? 6 gates and a robo this early? How is that possible? That literally isn't possible. But I'm forced to witness the reality of the situation march across the map. His army is ridiculously huge. This is insane. He faked an expansion and intentionally delayed his one base attack to catch me off guard. I simply don't have enough units to defend against this army. I won't for another minute either. By then, the game will be over. Did we just die? I'm going to lose. No, I don't need to take a direct engagement to win against Bolt. It's time for a base trade. Ah, and we're Terran. I told you in a few parts ago that we win in base trades because we can fly off our buildings and a Protoss can't. With the entire map loaded in 4 dropships, army in 4 dropships, I sprint across the map and unload onto his base. Bolt has 2 options. 1, pull back his army and suffer serious damage in the meantime, or 2, rush to my base and do the same as I'm doing with him. He opts for number 2. Alright, I've been in these kind of situations before. These kind of games are far less about macro, micro, or anything like that. It's just about staying calm and making the right decisions. See, we're flying off our 2 barracks there. I'm okay. His army is big, but mine is fast. I just need to focus down hunting his buildings down. We trade building for building, and the remnants of my main base unable to get away from his massive force. Found another pylon. If I keep this up, I can put him in an unwinnable position. All he has left is a single pylon, the one he used to reinforce his attack. Just before my final building bursts into flames, I throw down a supply depot in a corner of the map guarded by divided by terrain and distance. If he wants to win, he'll have to abandon his final pylon. It looks like this game might end up as a draw. I'm about to ask if he wants the time when I notice something in the corner of my eye. Whoa, he just pulled a significant part of his army away from the pylon. He's destroying the rock barrier. Shit, I'm not in the position to defend my final building. Not like this, God. I have to build him. Go. Oh. And it comes down to who gets the last thing. Hooray! We just about did it. Just. All is slow and silent. My heart thunders against my ribcage. I can feel the blood roaring through my veins. A second later, I rip the headphones off of my head and scream in triumph. This high, I've never felt anything like it. All the effort and hardship I've poured into 20 years of my life, this one moment is worth it all. With a thump, no, not Jeff, Christ, I'm getting too excited myself here. Jet bursts through the booth's door and pounds my back with claps and between her own cheers. She's soon joined by the rest of my team who follow suit, sharing in my victory. Oh, not my victory. Our victory. With some prodding from Excel, we collect ourselves and step out onto the stage to show our gratitude to the crowd with waves and smiles. But before the VSL hostess can cross the stage for a post-game interview, Bolt emerges from his booth with a macabre expression and splattered across his face. He wrenches the microphone from the hostess's hand and points at me from the other side of the stage. Is he about to do something which isn't very hero-like? Savour that win, you piece of shit. It's the last one you'll ever have against me. Those are some strong words. Wow. The crowd reacts with a mixture of astonishment and encouragement, the latter coming mainly from the fans dressed in Shots T1's black and white. Emboldened by my failure to respond, he continues. The current StarCraft 2 pro gamers pool disgraces esports. I pledge to my fans that I will expose these frauds for what they are. I hereby announce my retirement from Brood War. I'm immediately going full-time with StarCraft 2 with the intent to take the VSL Championship on behalf of those that deserve the honour of calling themselves professional gamers. With that, Bolt slams the microphone against the ground, causing the plastic shell to fracture and a loud screech to emit from the speakers. At least we're now the good guys, right? He just did something which a dick would do. We can keep our composure here and be like, well, I thought it was a very close game and very exciting for the fans. Oh, aren't we lovely? He stalks off stage through the player's exit without another word, trailed by the stares of his fans. Whoa, there's no way that was part of the KPGA's plan. That guy really likes to break electronics, huh? I wonder how many keyboards he's been through. I share a baffled look with Jet before the VSL hostess picks up what remains of the microphone and steps to my side. My teammates take it as a cue to vacate the stage. The post-game interview is short and formal, with half of the crowd completely unresponsive to my attempt to show good sportsmanship. Either they're on Bolt's side or they're impatient to see the VSTL get started. Still, a handful of people cheer me off the stage as the studio begins to set up for the team league. Among them is the familiar wisp of grey hair, but when I search for the face to whom it belongs, I don't see who I'm looking for. Oh god. Are these fanboys? Why? They don't look like fanboys. They all look relatively attractive. I didn't say that. To my utter surprise, a trio of foreigners approached backstage with autograph requests. I obliged them nervously, unfamiliar with how to properly sign the mousepads they hand me. Thanks. How do I know their names? Yeah, thanks. You rock. I scratch behind my head when they head off, surprised and humbled. Not a bad start, Mac. I turn to find Jet watching me from across the room. She pushes off the walk and ambles towards me. And, for the record, I'm sorry that I hit you. It might have been what I needed. There's no hard feelings. There's still hard feelings from me, but whatever. It wasn't right. There was probably a better option. It's in the past, seriously. She smiles genuinely, far wider than I've seen her from before. You'll make a good teammate. A sudden clap purges the expression from her face. Just like that, it's back to the intense Jet that I'm much more acquainted with. Alright, enough backpadding. Back to the team, we've got places to be. Without bothering to answer my curious look, she rolls her wrist in a beckoning motion and leads me out onto the hallway of the VSL studio. We have to go and see Mr. Kim and tell him how well we did. It's crowded, with even more people pouring into the studio in anticipation of the semi-final Team League match. But off, away from the foot traffic, we find Mr. Kim with Excel, Stunt and Reaver. He turns to regard Jet and then me with a smile, restrained in comparison to my teammates. And the victor arrives. Congratulations, Mac. I lower my head in a bow before taking my eyes off of him. Thank you. I'll send word to my assistant to publish a press release. The sponsorship should be no surprise, given how quickly this type of information spreads, but it should be a nice PR boost for Enoch Red. Alright, I'll admit that's a pretty good name. I'll leave the rest to Jet. I expect great things from you five. Enoch Red, that is a name which doesn't make me want to vomit openly. That's a good start. When Mr. Kim turns to leave, Reaver, Stunt and I probe Jet with looks. The rest? It'll be easier for me to show than to explain. Come on, it's not far. New team house! I fall in line behind Stunt and Excel after Jet takes off, stepping in time with Reaver at my side. She leans towards me with an offered smile. Congratulations, you avoided the death penalty. Thanks, I guess? Yeah, now instead of dying an instant death, I die a slow one at the hands of the Korean practice regimen. Oh, in that case it is not too late. She gently chops the back of my neck, I feign decapitation, and then straight back up to meet her smile. Come on, be the new team house. This one. She tests the key against the lock only to find that it doesn't fit. Oh no, wait, this one. We retrace our steps back down the apartment's building hallway to a door we passed earlier. She tries the key again, and again it doesn't fit. Are we on the wrong floor? No, will you just... Wait, it's the one across the hall. There we go! Those computers are very far apart. We should probably put those a bit closer. This time the key slides into the lock and then turns, revealing a mostly unfurnished room. It's small and it's not in a great part of town, but I can't deny the pride welling up inside of me as I step inside shoulder to shoulder with my teammates. We spread out instinctively, looking over the planed floors and countertops as if we were inspecting a mansion. How'd you get this so quickly? It was a good deal, but they wanted a deposit more than a week ago. Someone else was trying to snatch it out from under us. You put money down on our team house without knowing whether or not I'd win against Bolt? Jet dodges the question by glancing away, leaving Excel to swoop in and fill the silence. Nice having a team that believes in you, eh? That's not all, by the way. He gestures towards a lonely cardboard box off in the corner of the room. Stunt, I think you should have the honour. Somehow, Stunt has found the time during his momentous occasion to pull out his phone. God damn it, Stunt! But as instructed, he makes his way over to the corner of the room and he peels back the box's lid. What follows is a sound of unbridled joy. Hell yeah! He rummages around in the box's content before pulling free a red and white jacket. Oh god. One by one, Stunt practically rips them free and tosses them towards the four of us. I catch mine and on closer inspection find the Enoch Red logo on the back. Jet's expression is too neutral to be authentic. I think it's simply that she has a hard time admitting that she had faith all along. Knowing this makes me happy, so I have no reason to press her on it. Yo, it's time to celebrate! You got your chance to celebrate a week ago, now it's time to practice. Oh, how easily Jet breaks herself out of a quiet trance when the chance to play Empress arrives. Pfft, how? There's like 2 PCs in here, come on, last time before with VSL champs, I swear. I'm with the kid. I concur. Come on, Jet, one last time. Excel, you're supposed to be on my side and the rest of you are too willful. I'll break it out of you eventually. One last time. Hell yeah. Let's go get drunk. God damn it, Stunt. At least pretend to be at least a little more composed in your actions. Don't just run away randomly.